Alright, well, we're recording, so you better be ready.
Alright. We just need to be explicit that they do not serve alcohol.
Okay.
And that we're just making sense of it. So that they'll provide information with pants. They're very tight. They didn't use the bait.
Well, sir?
What do you think? Like you, because this is a lease, so
Put it towards me.
towards you. Like that. Oh, so outward.
As you're talking.
That? Okay. And the leaves been quaking after you made noise.
Nice on me.
Oh yeah. Unless one of these just go. Yeah, that happened one time. Yeah, really nice. Got it?
Yeah.
It's a cool little place, isn't it? I'm really glad you guys took the picture. I spend a lot of time when I come to Bozeman. I always try to make time to come here.
I'll let you explain.
Okay. Yeah. And you can touch the alcohol part.
It's great. We're just even this spot is just amazing. Cigar and alcohol and the people that created it and dreamed it and brought it into reality. And yeah, we're just thinking about this together and just talk about the things that make us excited and draw us close to you. Just crazy.
That's pretty good. Yeah, is this good? Can you am I spiking? You're good?
You're good.
Okay. Welcome to Culture East. It's nice to be back. Yeah, we're outside. We're outdoors.
Yep.
We're mountain men tackling. We're sitting outside a camper on a fake grass patio.
Nicest cigar lounge they've probably been to.
Well, it's pretty nice. I don't know a lot of cigar lounges that have fake turf patios. That's pretty nice. Yeah. I mean, and that's something we are on location. I can say that now. Because we're not unbilling. We're on location in Bozeman, just 2 hours away, at the Timberline Cigar Lounge over in Four Corners. It's a really cool believer-run cigar lounge out of an old Airstream.
Yeah.
And they've put a ton of money and time, been very intentional on the inside. But it's actually also really accessible out in Four Corners at the Rockin' TJ Ranch, and really affordable to be. Their memberships start at $35 and go up to $95. They've got private events. They've got all this stuff. It gives you, a bunch of access to the lounge. They have cigars in here you can buy. It's a really, really cool space. And listen, exactly.
Yeah.
It's quiet. It's by a stream.
Mm-hmm.
It's on a private events ranch, like for weddings and stuff like that. It's just a really cool space.
Yeah, it's super
Really
cool. This is
nice
the first time I've been here. Chatted with the owner. Super great dude. It's just good to be in spaces that are intentional as what we're about, and like seeing. I just love seeing I love being in people's dreams.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? This was a dream for a long time, and we're in it.
And he moved here just to make this dream happen.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
So, I mean, this is a big deal for him.
So good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great. So we are drinking some alcohol here. They do not serve alcohol.
No.
They don't provide it, and we're specifically drinking here outside to make the statement that this is what we have brought. And,
Yeah, it's our personal.
Yeah, they don't promote it. They don't supply it. They don't do any of that. And this is part of our culture. Is trying different alcohols and culture beast, and so we're excited to get to be in this really cool space.
Yeah, it's cool.
It's weird to not be recording in the studio.
I know.
It feels good though.
I know. No, it feels great. Like I literally, because sometimes when I'm trying to really focus on what you're saying, this is gonna sound weird, but I focus on the specific truss in your garage, so I can just focus on that and I can hear you.
Yeah.
There's no trusses.
No
It's
trusses.
just ozone and then space, really.
Yeah.
Like, so So, what do you got there?
I didn't get a good look
So
at it.
this is actually
it's
Timberline's
Timberline.
house cigar,
Yeah.
and it is made by Liga, which is high-end tobacco. Really good blending, and so I like them so much I bought a box.
Really?
Because I'm a member here. So, and it's cool because it's not that far from Big Sky. It's right in Four Corners of Bozeman, and to have Ligas as your house cigar for the price they have,
Yeah.
I think you're really gonna like it.
I've never had this cut before.
That's a V cut.
Yeah, I've never had
So
a
a lot of times V cuts, it'll draw the same amount of pressure and smoke, but it doesn't get as wet. It protects the cap a bit more and the structural integrity of the cigar. The other thing I like about V cuts is if you do them like a couple of them, it looks like a crown. And I'm American. So, but yeah, so that is the Timberline house cigar called the Tamarack, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's named after some rivers in the area.
I saw it on their display shop, and then I was like, while I'm here, I'm gonna try with that.
Yeah,
You know?
I liked it so much I bought a box of them.
That's crazy.
So I think you're gonna like
I
it.
got the buy boxes.
I mean, you might like.
Add it to my humidor.
You know, you get a humidor now. It's great stuff. And I brought some Elijah Craig small batch for us. It's 94 proof. One of the first to char char their oak barrels, Elijah Craig, and they've been doing it since like the late 1700s. Like they make it damn good bourbon.
Yeah.
Like it's just damn good.
I've never tried this one.
I'm really excited for you to try it.
What's the proof?
It's 94.
94.
So it's a little higher than what they would say is normal run-of-the-mill, but it's a little lower than say like the Maker's Mark 46 we had.
Right.
That put hair on my eyeballs. I mean, it really did. So,
Cheers.
yeah, cheers. I think you're gonna like it. Lots of caramel, lots of vanilla. Yep, I know you do. Lots of caramel, lots of vanilla. Malt. You'll probably taste a lot of malt. In the mash bill, so to be, there's a history lesson.
Yes.
So in the mash bill, depending on what percentage of grains and stuff are in the mash, determines what it is, one, but two, kind of the flavors you get. And this is one of the first bourbons I ever tried during my bourbon journey that I could actually almost taste the malt.
Yeah. That's the first time I tasted it.
Yeah. And then you've got vanilla, you've got caramel, you've got, I get a little, and I get a touch of mint when I smell it.
Yeah.
Maybe that's just weird.
I could.
But yeah, I really like it. It's a great sipping bourbon. It makes a damn good old fashioned, but I really like just sipping it. And they've been doing it since 1789, so they've been, they've had some time to get it right. Is my point.
It tastes a little black pepper.
There is that. There's that kind of spicy burn.
Yeah.
Not so much like a heat burn, but like a spicy burn. It's a little hot. It's 94 proof.
Yeah, it's a little hot,
but it's
I
really
usually like
good.
a little bit of water.
We can make that happen. I know a guy.
That's okay.
I'm smoking a Monte Cristo Espada. It's one of my favorite blends by Monte Cristo, and I love the label. See, Espada is actually a type of sword, and so it's they've kind of really gotten in on that. Yeah, and that's
I just curious.
Yeah, and the marketing on that is really well done.
I like that.
Yeah.
So good.
So,
I'm excited.
Yeah.
Shall we?
Yeah, I think we shall.
Look at that mountain. There's this really great mountain range. What range is that?
Those are the Bridgers. Yeah. Yes. Over here in Austria. No, that's the Bridgers. I've hiked the second largest peak of the Bridgers, which is called Sacagawea, with Andy Austin. We did a suited summit. I hiked that in a suit. And I'm going to tell a story about Andy Austin. I don't think he listens, but he needs to because he says he loves both of us. I think that's bull crap. But
he just loves me.
That's more what it is. But we were going up, and I'm in a suit, he's in a suit, and he's way more mountainy than I am.
Yes.
And so I'm dying back there. And he would encounter these people who'd be like, what's going on? He goes, oh, we're getting married. And so then people would pass me and they'd be like, congratulations. And I'd be like, what in the world is going on? And so then near the summit, he tells me what he's been doing. I could have thrown him off a mountain. I was like, what do you mean you're telling people we're getting married? He was so
really
proud
good.
of himself. But anyway, so see that one right behind that tower?
Yeah.
That's the one.
Color?
Like over, yeah, that's it. That's where I hiked.
Wow, that's huge.
Yeah, it was nuts.
Good job.
It was nuts. If I had the choice, probs wouldn't do it again.
Yeah.
No.
I would do that once.
But 10 out of 10 would recommend because I mean I saw Butte, like that's how. It was just
Wow.
huge.
That's wild.
It was nuts.
All right, tell me.
Yeah, she's. I have so much to talk to you about. I'm so excited.
Sweet.
And I'm debating whether to let you talk about Rivian or me.
Who's really?
Sure.
You quite like this.
I thought you might. And actually, if you had picked a different cigar, I was going to give you one from my box
Oh.
because I keep a few here, so when I come to smoke, I just have them. I was going to give you one to take home because I knew you'd probably like it. Really easy to smoke,
It is really easy.
and it's a really good smoke. It burns really nice. I forgot how peppery these are when I first start.
That's good. How are you?
You know, I'm busy.
What you got going on?
I'm well, but I'm busy.
Yes.
So moving from like a full 365-day kind of job calendar to a seasonal job calendar has been very interesting. So Big Sky is a seasonal town. What that means is that Big Sky goes from let's say the Thanksgiving weekend to about the middle to end of April. And then they have about May off, and then about middle of June they take off again for the summer season. That ends about the end of September.
Okay.
And then it picks up again Thanksgiving weekend
Sure.
when the mountains open.
Yeah.
So you have a summer and fall and a winter season. And what's been interesting to me is everything just shuts down. Restaurants, places. Like almost every restaurant in Big Sky shuts down for at least 2 weeks.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Huh. Weird. So you have like 2 weeks off?
I'm taking a month off because it's a month and a half. They call it the shoulder. Okay. And so I'm actually going to Virginia to see some family and friends. I'm going to go through Michigan. Yeah, my father and I are going.
Are you gonna try the bike?
We're going to try. So my father in this barn he doesn't want to bring it back, so I'm going to have to ship back. He has a 1963 Honda Dream 305. Bryson is listening. I'm calling you. Help.
Yeah.
You know?
Yes.
I know cars. I don't know motorcycles.
They're easier than cars.
That's what I've heard.
Yeah.
People go, man, if you like cars, boy, let me tell you.
They're cheap. They're so
I've
cheap.
heard that. I have to say, Mr. Aspen, and I'm going to call you out. Those pictures you took of your cafe were absolutely stunning.
Thank you.
And the
Thanks.
fact that you rode it
Yes.
to go take
To the
them.
location. Yes. It needs some work. Mechanically, I think I need to rejet it.
Which, I mean, after that long, it probably does.
Well, I cut off the mufflers as you do with the cafe, and apparently the motorcycle.
I love how I nodded like,
Yeah.
oh yes, no, I have no idea what you do in a cafe.
Neither do I. I was like, why not see my hands with this thing? But
Same, I'm not even built there.
it turned out really well. Like I'm really excited about it. You know,
I hear it's loud.
It's really loud. It's louder than what I want it to be. So
Put some baffles in it or something.
yeah, I'm gonna get a different different mufflers for this.
Yeah, it's gorgeous. And I, for one, just knowing you like I know you, and I know you pretty well, I love the yellow headlight.
Thank you. Yeah, that was one of the design aspects of it that I really wanted to incorporate. I couldn't get it out of my mind. I don't know why. I just kept looking at the bike and kept thinking. I painted it silver initially to match the forks and to match the rear shocks. But I don't know. Maybe because I was working around my Datsun and it was yellow, you know, that inspired it. But I just couldn't get it out of my mind.
You know, and we've talked about painting, you know, if you can paint the dots or whatever. I think that is some of the best patina I've seen on a car.
It's pretty good. It's got a lot of rust.
It does.
Yeah,
It
so
does.
I've been thinking about keeping the yellow since the last podcast. I've been thinking about keeping the yellow. I don't know.
So the bike that I might be bringing back, 1963 Honda Dream. My dad bought it brand new. It's 98% complete. The last time he rode it, I think a battery is what it's. I literally think that's what it's missing. But the glass is in good shape. You know, I mean it needs tires, obviously. You know, it needs fluids, all that stuff. But the last time he rode it, this is a great story. The last time he rode it, he was up on a mountain gravel road with his brother. And his brother took a turn because he was on a dirt bike, and my dad took a turn and didn't take a turn. He went over the hill, over the cliff, and took his bottom lip and peeled it. Jack took that right there. And actually, to this day, my dad has a small scar right here, and he can't grow hair right here if you look.
Wow.
Because he has a beard, but there's a little scar we can't compare. But anyway, that's the last time he rode it.
Wow.
And it needs some body work because it went over a mountain.
Right.
But what I'd like to do, because I asked him, I said, would you want to rebuild? No, he's like, I don't want to fool with it.
Yeah.
So I'm going to fool with it.
Yeah, so you can bring it back.
I'm going to bring it back.
Capacity.
Well, what I think I'm going to do, we're taking a smaller car, just save gas, the Subaru. But what I'm going to I have a friend of mine in shipping, and I'm going to ship it back. Ship it to my doorstep, basically. And then I'm going to, it's going to be my winter project.
Sweet.
And it'd be a great little round Big Sky little bike. And this is an uncommon opinion with these people, like to keep them original because they're so old. I want to do a scrambler.
Yeah.
Because I do there's a back road from Big Sky to Ennis, which I take to go fishing with my pops. And it's gravel, loose gravel and dirt. And the rally boy in me.
Yeah. Want to get frisky with it.
Yeah,
huh?
no, I do. But I think a scrambler would be fun because I can go, take that.
That's what my new 125 is going to be, as a scrambler build.
Your new 125?
Did you see it in my living room?
Yeah, I didn't know that was yours.
Yeah, it's mine.
Wow,
Yeah.
you have two motorcycles.
So, okay.
I feel like you need to get a shop.
I need to get a shop. I need a shop really bad.
I saw that
I bought a new car
story
today,
on
too.
your Instagram, and I was like,
Yes.
what?
Yeah, I bought a new car today too.
Today? What'd you buy?
2003 Ford Focus.
Are you gonna do it?
Yeah.
You're gonna do it?
Yeah, I'm gonna do it.
You're gonna do it.
Mm-hmm.
So a Focus instead of an Escort. If you tuned into the last one, which if you haven't, shame on you, do it now. Well, listen to this one and then listen to the next one, or the last one. You were talking about getting a Focus to do some rallying and some SCCA and stuff like that.
So I was just waiting for the right car. I was intentional about setting aside the money. So it doesn't pinch.
Yeah.
There is one option in Billings. It's great blue. I think we talked last time. The guy hadn't checked the oil in forever because the dipstick was stuck. It was just.
Well, if the dipstick stuck, that probably indicates some sludge.
It was just the interior was dirty. It was just not.
You can tell when somebody's taking care of the car.
Exactly.
Like
And
your
so I saw
Yaris
this
is
one-
really nice. The Lexus is.
Yeah. Whatever. So this one popped up 2 days ago, and a guy who's a garage mechanic, he put a new motor in it, new clutch, new brakes.
So it's a manual.
Yeah, it's a manual. Yeah.
Nice.
So,
It needs to be, doesn't it?
It needs to be, yeah. So the price is right, and it was just test drove it, and the guy was super nice, held it for me, and it was great because he's a gearhead. He's got a 48 Ford Coupe that that's hot rodded in his garage.
I'm a sucker for good rat
he
rod.
built it, it was just really cool because
So he seemed like he believed in what you wanted to do with it.
yeah, I told him what I wanted to do, and paid him full price. And he's like, "Well, since you paid me full price, and I know what you want to do with it, he's like, I got something extra for you." And you're like,
To give you a 48 Ford Coupe?
"No."
Wishful thinking, sorry.
He gave me a head off of an RS, a Focus RS, so it will bolt onto my engine. and
Holy
stuff.
smoke! So you're well on your way to starting to.
It's just perfect. You know what I mean?
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's car people for you.
That's coffee.
Car people are like that. Car people. Well, now I know what you're doing with it.
And I didn't I knew it. I gave him the price that he asked because he did the work. I didn't try to haggle him on it. I knew what he wanted. It's good. He put in the work that I would have
huge.
wanted to.
Yeah.
So it's ready for me. I mean, it's gonna be a long build. I'm gonna stretch it out until next year. Because that's really when the CCA starts up again next year. But it's a good opportunity now to get into it and just slowly work on that build towards next year.
Yeah. That's
I don't
so
have
cool, man.
pressure to get it
Oh,
going.
because it's for you.
I'm not in like this financial bind, getting coilovers for it, you know, whatever.
Are you gonna do that?
Coilovers?
I don't know why I said that's a dumb question. I'm talking to Paul Aspen. Of course you're gonna put it on its ass.
I'm gonna make it handle better, you know. Probably do all
The
the
equivalent,
bushings and
the
stuff.
Aspen equivalent of I'm gonna put it on its ass. Yes, you are.
But I need to find some that will work for like rally too, because I want to do rallycross. Rallycross is becoming more popular in Montana.
So, this Jack Creek Road I spoke of,
Mhm.
it's the 17-mile long gate-to-gate loose gravel and dirt road. I want to take you on it sometime so you can understand my vision. But I want to talk to it's privately owned by a Lone Mountain Lane Company, and I want to talk to them and say, look, if you hosted a rally event here and just bought the insurance and charged this much for the entry fee, you would make your money back, and then some. And it's the perfect, it's in the Spanish Peaks.
Wow.
The Spanish Peak Mountains is what it's called, where the Beehive Basin, this famous hike is to, and like Beehive Basin Brewing and all that stuff.
Sure.
It goes from Big Sky to Ennis, and it's this. It's got elevation. It's got all kinds of curves. It's got all kinds of elevation. It's got all kinds of wildlife and gorgeousness, and it's like a lane and a half. It's perfect.
Wow, interesting.
And so I have extensively tested it in a rear-wheel drive V8 car.
And it can work for a little guy, for a little.
I'm telling you what, you take the traction control off that Lexus,
Rips, huh?
and it's the most amazing drift car I've ever. Because like you literally all I do is hit the gas, turn in, and it just on the gravel it goes like this, and then you just hold it, listening to Sinatra, and it's just like it's like going to the see the Queen for tea time. It's the easiest thing in the world.
So good.
And so it has been thoroughly tested.
Nice.
I'm not saying I did it, but I know a guy.
There's research been done. Secondhand research. Maybe
Yes.
first.
Secondhand research, of course.
So, yeah.
So I think rally is becoming much bigger.
Gentlemen,
TJ,
how are
this
you?
is I don't know if you guys can see him. This is TJ Montgomery. That's a name too.
May I sit?
That's a
Yeah,
strong name.
of course. Can we offer you a tasty beverage?
Oh, mate.
I know a guy. I have an extra cup here.
We brought it on our own.
Yeah,
Very
we
loud.
brought it on our own, and because he's having us here, he gets some. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. That's this. We were very adamant about the alcohol thing.
I appreciate it.
Yeah. So if any representatives, cheers, definitely.
Absolutely.
If any representatives of the state are watching, I'm kidding. I didn't.
If all two of our viewers,
Yeah, if all
happen
two
to
of
be
our viewers happen to be
representatives.
representative of the beverage program of the state, I'm really sorry for my previous statement. But yeah, so rally's becoming an increasingly large sport.
Yeah, and even there's.
I mean, a lot of motorsports are coming now that I hate to say we don't like to use the C word. Now that COVID is kind of dispersing with it. I mean, Formula One's back on every circuit. Hamilton just won his 100th race.
That was 100.
His 100th one, not raced it. Won his 100th race.
That's it.
Listen, don't. We're heading towards an argument. I can feel it. No, but I mean that's for his age. He's what, in his 30s, late 30s, I think, or I mean, might even be younger.
He's 30.
Yeah, I think he's. Which every time I see a successful person at 30, I just think, you're slacking.
Lewis Hamilton, you're slacking, man.
No, me. I'm slacking. He's doing just fine. They give him a brand new Mercedes every year. That's sponsorship. But Schumacher's son is now racing. I don't know. I don't think it's Formula One. I think it's. I have to look. I could have told you this an hour ago. But Schumacher's son is racing now too. Did you see the documentary? They did a documentary on Michael Schumacher, and I think it's on Netflix, or maybe it's Prime. It's one of the two. It's like a documentary, and it was really great to watch. It was really hard to watch. Because Michael Schumacher is one of the greatest motorsport drivers, period. In my mind. I mean, I was a huge Schumacher fan. And then he had a skiing accident, he hit his head, and he's now and a lot of guys weren't. I mean, a lot of greats that he's up there with weren't so lucky. I mean, you look at Jim Clark, you look at Senna, you look at. I mean, you know, it could have been worse. But I also, I mean, if it were me, and I was this hell of a race car driver, and I'd been in, you know, so many close calls. A skiing accident,
Yeah.
I'd be a little grumpy about that.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, and that's a terrible thing to say. But
It's interesting because I mean, like in BMX, Scotty Cranmer, you know.
yeah, I don't. But yes, I'm saying yes because it saves time.
Well, he was this huge up and coming BMXer, just super talented, won like 6 skiing medals, right? And just like one of the best BMXers ever to do, right? Probably behind Adrian, right?
Wow, I
yeah.
know who that is.
Yes, so good. He was doing a super small trick, done it a million times, and hit like a pole that was in a bush, like didn't see, sent him, and like cracked his head, and now he can barely ride. And it's just unbelievable.
It's such a
You know,
shame.
it wasn't even from doing the trick. He landed the trick and like rolled into this thing that he thought was okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's heartbreaking. Because and I mean, when you look at somebody like that, somebody who has their whole life, you know, dedicated it to adrenaline and kind of almost not death-defying, but like putting your life in danger every time you go off a jump, or every time you go around a fast corner, or every time you turn your Formula One car on, you know, and to go to that, that's God. I mean, inside, because you know they said that Schumacher has problems, you know, communicating, but he seems to be somewhat there. That's got to be such a.
Yeah.
I'd rather go.
Right.
I mean, I hate.
Rather go than sit there and watch life around you.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, that's
and
rough.
not being able to do,
All the things you love.
like you said, not you know, and I'm reiterating because you don't have a mic, but not you know, not being able to do life around you.
Do I
That-
need to yell?
I mean,
Seems like picking up, okay?
is it picking him up? Okay, don't
Oh,
yell.
good.
Then that's weird. But it is just.
Hey!
It's
Oh.
Hey, you with the face! Shut up! I'm talking in. No, it's very. It's got to be hard. Like Jim Clark went out on a corner, you know, and he was. Well, you know how I feel about Jim Clark.
Right.
I think he's the greatest driver ever lived.
Yeah.
And some people would say it was Senna. Some people would say it was Sterling Moss. Some people say it was Michael Schumacher.
Sure.
Jim Clark, he was a savant.
Mm-hmm.
You know, some people, here's the people that are good, here's the people that are great, and then there's these people and above that are almost otherworldly with how they do things,
Yeah.
and that's, he's a savant.
Yeah, to me, I mean, like, professional drivers are like the best in the world. And then to be, like, consistently the best above them
Yeah.
is very impressive.
Well,
you
and
know? 'Cause
so-
it's no slouches are in WRC or Formula One.
No,
you know,
they
that
can't
is
be.
Some dedicated, very talented drivers.
Yes.
You know.
And to be able to, like, take rally, you know, WRC or any of the rally stages, for example, you have these drivers that literally go on a stage, do a couple practice runs, do the stage for real, and have somebody telling them, you know, you gotta left 3, Titans 90 for the elevation, and they instantly know what they and the car have to do for that corner, and it's come, and it literally, by the time they say, you know, Titans 90, they're there. So by the time they get all the information, they know what to do, and it really is, you have to be the best of the best, but to be the best of the best of the best, it's something otherworldly. You know, that's what everybody used to say. You know, you look at old interviews about Jim Clark, and the Grand Tour did that segment on him, and it kind of sparked another generation to go look into Jim Clark. He would break his own world record on like the next lap. Like he would break it and then break it again because he was always learning how to go. So he's pushing the car a little bit more. The life would brake less. You know, and he was what I call
Professional mentality.
professional mentality. He had an I will say, with these two new Lotus cars coming, the Emira and the crazy suction turbine thing.
Yeah.
I'm hoping Lotus will kind of take another interest in motorsport.
Who does Red Bull use? Honda? No.
I think it might be. I think it's Honda. I think it is Honda.
So
We're gonna find out because I have Wi-Fi.
Dude, so Red Bull is so baller. So Honda's the team that they're using is getting out of Formula One, right? And they, instead of ending the program, Red Bull bought the entire motorsports division that builds them their engines.
It is Honda.
Yeah.
The team used engines supplied by Renault from 2007 to 2018, but they use Honda now. So it must have been Renault. I don't know because it's Honda now.
Yeah. So I think Honda was getting out of it, and so Red Bull just straight up bought the whole enterprise and are running it themselves.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's nuts, by the way. Also,
Mm-hmm.
Renault does a good job on the motorsport circuit. I wish they made better cars. Although, I mean, they used to.
Yeah.
They used to make cars that literally, if you stuttered, it would kill you. Like the Renault, the Turbo 5 would kill you. It was this little literally, it's like they took a sedan and just cut it off at an angle and made a little hatchback called the Turbo 5.
And put another engine in the bag.
And then put another engine in the bag, and it was insane. Like it would, if you hesitated for just a minute, it would kill you. Like it was nuts.
Yeah, pretty crazy.
Yeah, but
I don't know if I could drive that.
well, I mean, you'd want to try though.
I would
mean,
want to
part
try.
of me, part of me is
want
like,
to try.
So, just to fill you guys in, kind of take a small motorsport break here. TJ owns the Timberline Lounge under the Tin Can Cigar Company. It's an old Airstream that they've renovated and, as we said, put a bunch of money and time and intentionality into. And we love intentionality, or culture based. But the cool fact is, TJ is also I say former because there's no retiration for you guys. No retiring. He's a former Marine. Was actually stationed all over the place. Camp David at one time, protecting the president and all that stuff.
Wow.
So he's the real deal, and he has fancy pants. He loves Kuyu, the brand, and I just can't help myself.
He does live in
Kuyu.
Bozeman.
Yeah,
so
he
I'm
loves
just taking
Kuyu,
it.
so I just can't help myself. Every time he's, he was talking. You and Christian.
I got to go to the showroom.
Yeah.
In outside of Sacramento, it's in Dixon. Finally, get your hand on some of the gear. So, what Kuyu doesn't sell their gear in any stores like Sitka or North Face.
I love how he had to compose himself when you said no. He's like,
I love
Or North Face?
I love Effendi Bozemanites.
Yeah.
They're just so particular about
he's
their
not from
tactical wear they
Bozeman.
wear every day.
He's not from Bozeman.
Not originally, no, but
He just lives
you know,
here.
Grafted into the lifestyle.
Yeah,
you
he
see
really
this, culture in Bozeman of people coming in from all over the place, right?
Mm-hmm.
And many of them come from places or major metropolitan areas where they don't do much hunting or extended outdoors, right? The outdoors is a short camping trip or it's a short skiing trip or something like that, right? So a lot of those people use Patagonia and North Face, totally unfamiliar with
Right.
Kuyu or
The
Sitka
hardened
or
outdoor
Cryptic.
brands.
Right.
Well, there's some of them are made for the slopes, and some of them are made for, hunting sheep at, 10,000 feet.
Yeah, exactly.
for 2
Because
weeks
I was
at a
like,
time.
now where do those guys hang out? Oh yeah, up there. Yeah.
So, haven't done a sheep hunt yet, but that's on
On
the
the
list.
agenda.
It is.
Yeah. And
It
that's
is.
on a whole other side of culture that we haven't really touched on.
It's because I know nothing about it.
My father knows way more about it than I do.
Sean, I got it a couple times.
My version of hunting, when we go back to Virginia, and this is funny for Montana hunters because they don't do that here. But we sit in a tree with a book that's been camo duct taped, the cover of it, and we just wait for the deer to walk under us. We shoot it, and we go back to our book. That's really. We pour a little bit of dope, like female deer piss, sit in the tree. That's it.
So much fun.
It is great. The problem is you can't smoke a cigar while you're doing it.
Well, it's tough to do that and be successful.
Yeah,
We'll say
no,
that.
you can do it. It's just that you won't have any meat.
Sounds like a Chuck Norris joke in there somewhere.
Yeah, somewhere. Or a late Norm Macdonald joke. He would have had fun with that.
Well, I've hunted that way a few times. I've been, I was stationed back there, back east. For
Yeah,
a
you
while.
were.
But I mean, I enjoy all hunting, but you know, the wilderness speaks to me.
It
So,
does. It does.
yeah.
I can definitely tell that about you. You have a bull bar on your truck.
Well, if I hit an elk, I need to be able to drive away from the
Yeah,
accident.
especially if you're on a mountain somewhere.
So that's a common misconception is if you hit an elk with one of those, that you know it's not going to damage your rig. Like, those things weigh a lot.
Yeah, they're right large.
But if you hit an elk in the middle of nowhere, Montana, right?
That's
and
gonna
you got
help.
one of those,
Right.
you'll probably drive away. You won't, you know.
It's
freeze.
literally just like a bulletproof vest for your radiator. Basically all it is.
Yeah, basically.
It's basically
Probably
like
bend
that.
your frame, but
Yeah,
at least
but
you'll
at
be able to
least
drive
you'll be
home.
able to limp it home.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, pretty soon cars are just gonna have those things where they're gonna be like, "You've hit a rock. You've hit an elk." Like they're just gonna have sensors. They'd be like,
No,
"You've
they-
hit a rock. Please go to your nearest dealership to check your alignment. You've hit an elk. You're fucked." Like
They're
you
gonna
know.
have, they're gonna have force fields around it.
Yeah, yeah. Deflector
Yeah.
shield. The elk bounces into the next county. You know, man, he must have been doing at least 90 to get it over here.
You
You
think
know?
$1.20. But
Oh,
Do you
that
think
was
mounting
terrible.
a couple of spears or skewers on the front would be
Okay,
frowned
we're
upon?
not at the zombie apocalypse quite yet. Quite yet. I mean, Montana. One of the crazier things that I learned when I moved here, and I'm relatively, except for the farm in Virginia, spending my summers there and hunting and fishing and stuff like that. I'm relatively a city boy. I mean, I'm wearing a vest and tight pants for Christ's sake, you know. And so, I was amazed to learn in Montana, if you hit a deer or an elk or something on the side of the road, you can call up the highway patrol. They will issue you a tag and you can put it in the back of your truck.
really?
Yes, you can.
Wow.
It is a state law.
Wow. Jeez.
I think there's a whole new definition of road hunting. You just don't even shoot them, just hit them.
You know, I almost filled both my deer and elk tag last year, which
With your
with
truck?
my truck.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. But I didn't, and I didn't fill them any other way either. It was a rough year last year.
Well, it was.
But
an
I came
interesting-
close with the truck. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, it seems like your truck has better aim than your rifle does. But
Ouch.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm just
That
kidding.
was good.
And just like
You
that,
know,
we're
it-
never gonna do an episode here again.
You know,
Yeah,
if-
we might as well pack up.
Yeah, might as well. We're done. That was it. We're just a mini episode today.
Well, if you don't have those stories, you know, I don't know. You watch. I mean, you probably don't, but the Outdoor Channel.
I love the Outdoor Channel. No.
Yeah, I didn't even know there
You
was.
know,
one.
the guys on TV, right? They always
It's
make
like the
it
Jury
look-
Brothers.
The who?
Yeah. All right. Maybe that's HGTV. I get confused.
Little
No,
House
the
on
Mossy
Prairie,
Oak
is
Boys,
that the
Jury
same
Brothers.
thing?
Oh yeah.
Jury Brothers, yeah. Mark Jury and his brother, the other guy.
So you watch guys, you know, Jim Shockey.
Yeah, I know that. I know who that is.
Steve Ranella, right? You know,
My
like,
dad, this is his world. I'm just living in it.
well, those guys make it seem like they're filling, you know, every tag every year, right? And you know, it's hunting these animals is such a challenge, right? And there's so much.
If it were easy, everybody would do it.
There's so many people, right, that are unsuccessful as well. But if you don't have those years, right, where you're not successful, it's why they call it hunting, not killing. Right?
Same with fishing. I fly
Same with
fish a lot, and they don't call it catching. I know why. I know why for sure.
But I mean, you know,
Speaking of outdoors things, have you seen the Rivian? The pickup?
Ooh, that was a nice
You
segue.
like that? You like that?
That was a nice segue.
I have not.
Rip, you're gonna love this. You're gonna love this.
Depending.
Maybe.
Depending.
You might hate it.
Depending on if you like.
I don't know if you can put spears on the front.
How do you feel about how do you feel about electric vehicles at this point?
Oh man. So
That's the defining.
We've started
defining
the
line.
first official Culture Beast debate right here. We're a panel debate now.
I'm torn.
Yes. I'm gonna bring up
I
a picture of the Rivian while you start it. Go ahead.
hearing, you know, the engine. I love feeling it.
Yes. Same.
I love what that means. I love the evolution of, you know, the vehicles,
Right.
specifically trucks.
Right.
You know, and what they can do now versus what they used to be able to do
Sure.
and what they're used for, and
Right.
the culture around trucks.
Trucks haven't changed that much. It's the people's balls that have changed.
Yeah.
Well,
well, let's just
you
send
know,
it.
in Montana, you drive a truck, everybody waves at you. You know, it's the Jeep wave that the country knows.
Yeah.
In Montana, it's like a truck wave.
Yeah, it
right?
is. It
Like,
is.
Everybody
it's a
wins.
good
No
old
one
boy.
waits to be in my truck.
But I drive like a hoopty Tundra, so
I don't know.
So this is
But I understand, and I recognize that the future, right, and the future progression of trucks and of vehicles, right, very well is looking like it's electric.
so.
Right.
Let me ask you something. Sight unseen. You don't know what a Rivian is, right?
No,
Okay.
I don't.
Thank you. I just had to say that for that. I know you don't.
I don't. I don't.
So if
the
I
jury.
told you that I could find it in 2022, there would be a truck that was roughly the size of your beautiful Z71. By the way, I do like
It is
those.
very nice.
Thank you.
The Silverado.
Yep.
It had 835 horsepower, four-wheel drive from 4 electric motors, had 908 foot-pounds of torque, up to 11,000 pounds of towing capacity, and can wade in a depth of 42.7 inches. And could also do 0 to 60 in 2.8 seconds, and has a range of 650 miles. Would you buy it? Because no offense, your gas tank doesn't get 650. I know that.
you haven't even
Well-
you haven't even told about the off-road capabilities of this thing.
No,
yet.
I haven't. I haven't even started into what they have.
I keep extra gas in my truck.
Okay, well, not everybody is prepared. So I always make the joke too that I'm an optimistic pessimist. I hope for the worst, but he preps for the worst. Is what he does. I don't prep
Which
for it. I
means
just go, well,
you
it could
live-
be worse.
You live a lot longer in apocalypse than both of us.
Yeah, we'd all be dead. I've told people that they're like, what would you do if everything went south? I said, I'm heading to Four Corners because DJ's. So this is the Rivian being tested in the Rocky Mountains. It is fully electric. It's a good look at.
I've seen electric truck mock-ups that look worse.
This is a
I'll say
production.
that.
These are production. These are how this is
And
gonna
what's
go.
that running?
That's a storage space with a little like after survival kit in there and everything.
Huge cool things in there.
I think they start at 60.
They start at
60?
60, which is less than a new Tundra. I'm coming for you this episode, by the way, Toyota. You and I are gonna have some words here in about 10 minutes.
Some good words too.
Well, I'm not. So send
I'm
him
gonna
a
move
free
this
car.
over so I don't drop
Yeah.
ash all over you.
Yeah, that's it could be worse. I drop ash all over myself all the time.
It's a regular occurrence for
It
me as
really
well.
is. You can tell cigar smokers, especially if they, because they all have just a little bit grayer of an area right here, because we all just ash all over ourselves. But it is a contender for bringing electric, basically a useful electric vehicle to the masses. Now, Elon Musk will shut us down if I don't, but the Tesla has its place.
Mhm.
But this is a utilitarian off-road vehicle.
Yeah. And it's built from a place of authenticity
Mhm.
and trying to fill a need, as opposed to I have all this money and I just
Yeah.
want to do something and
They are-
make a wedge that
There's
drives,
nothing like
you
this
know?
on the market, and they have set out to say no. With this whole climate change thing, and the EU and the Paris Accord, all this stuff has basically said that, and the EU has come down on all the European automakers, and that's the big ones too: BMW, Porsche, Volkswagen.
Aston Martin.
Well, they're Indian-owned technically,
Oh,
but
fair.
we don't say that here.
That's
Don't-
the conversation nobody's ready to have.
Yeah, as an avid Aston Martin fan, I'm not ready to have the conversation.
Boy,
I'm just glad
they
exist.
are sexy looking cars.
They are
Mhm.
gorgeous cars.
I may
I
or may
saw
not have been looking at 2008 V8 Vanquishes
Same.
last night.
the V8 Vanquish is collectively probably, we both think it's one of the most beautiful cars ever built.
There was one for $40,000.
Oh yeah, but
6-speed manual.
do you want to know the greatest part about all that? I'm sorry to crush your dreams. You know the oil change costs and everything? You
Oh.
can't do it.
Yeah, I don't want.
You can't do it.
But the great thing, so it's basically it's basically a Ford engine with a bunch of local parts.
Yeah, which
So
goes really well.
So look, I mean, if it's got a Ford V8 essentially in it, another Ford V8 can go back in it. You know what I mean? For real. Get rid of
That's
the junk.
not, that's not how that.
Get
Did you
rid-
mean a Vantage or Vanquish? Because the
Uh,
Vanquish was V12.
Vantage.
Okay, the Vantage is a Ford engine.
Yeah.
The V12 was not a Ford engine.
Right.
Which
I want
means
the V8, not the V12. I don't want the V12 problems. I want to get in
the
and drive
sound,
and enjoy.
Paul, the
Oh yeah,
sound.
but it's driving it every once in a
There
while.
was a
driving
V8
it a lot.
Vantage in my pops and I were in Big Sky the other day, fishing, and or my mom actually and I, and we saw a V8 Vantage and a Ferrari F355 convertible within 5 minutes of each other. And anyway, the V8 Vantage is gorgeous. The problem I have is that that's not just shoving a new Ford V8. That's not quite how it doesn't go.
It's got it. Something that's a good word.
What were we talking about before that? Oh yeah, we're just gonna go over that. So, because I hear what you're saying. You keep it's like the Princess Bride. You keep using that word. I don't think it means what you think it means. But the EU has said by 25 or 20? No, 2035.
Yeah.
2035. Every manufacturer that builds and sells a petrol-based car will be fined. Now,
That's in the United States?
no, that's
or
in the
Europe?
European Union, EU.
Well,
We haven't gotten there yet, but
they don't do everything right over there.
well, no, they don't. But they're trying. So,
Neither do we.
so, but what has interested me is now I'm with you. And I've said this. I think almost every episode of Culture Beast, and anybody who knows me knows this. I'm a fire-breathing, snarling V8 guy. I will, like Jeremy Clarkson tweeted when that came out. He said, in 2034, I shall buy 10 new petrol cars. You know, he's like, I'm not going to deal with this. But I'm the same way. I am that caveman V8, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But it's interesting to me how the manufacturers have started to rise to the challenge. Mercedes, BMW, Volkswagen, Porsche, all these different ones have started to say, okay, in 10 years, this is going to be our car. It's fully electric. Here's what we're going to do with it. And that's great. These guys are doing this. This is production. This was from like 3 days ago, that production test in the Rocky Mountains. And I think what they've done is really, like you said, they saw a need, and not just say, well, that needs to be filled, and we have this prototype. This production, they're going on sale soon. Are they already on sale?
Customers have them. Yes.
I'll be damned.
Yeah, you can order them.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I watched their release video the other day. The great thing is it's just a regular dude, you know, and he.
And he's building a regular truck.
Yeah,
Like I mean, it's to go.
reasonably affordable.
It's to go for people who buy F-150s and Silverados, and it's not meant for the people who have 19 other cars that are worth $50 million.
And just everything about the company. I mean, I've watched them since they were in inception.
He's
know?
been rambling about, and I don't mean to say rambling. What I mean to say is he's been rambling about Rivian for like 2 years.
Mm-hmm. And I've
He
been
loves
watching them through.
Didn't
this
you
progression.
invest in them?
No, I
Oh.
want to when they go public.
When they go public.
Haven't yet. Anyways, the plant is in Normal, Indiana.
That's the name of the city?
Yeah.
I just thought you
Normal,
meant it's like a normal
No,
spot
it's
of
in
Indiana.
It's in Normal, Indiana.
I didn't
Like
know
this
that.
company is just like we just want to make great stuff, you know, and just like be as transparent.
Weren't
and-
they also teasing an SUV?
Yeah, they have an SUV.
They do. That's what I would like.
Yeah, it's great.
Well, I mean,
you know.
an off-road capability. It's been, from what the tests I've seen, I mean, it can do everything that Z71
They've
can.
intentionally entered like long Road and Track. It was Road and Track. They did a 48-day trail across the United States, like through all the United States. Unbelievable. And they did great. You know,
Yeah.
they've entered them into different like long rallies. I think they entered one in Dakar. Like it's just like they have put
Didn't do
them
that far.
through the paces. Like they just put them like because they want to be on them and see how they do and fix what needs to be fixed.
Mhm.
Like super cool.
And the fact that
I wonder what ex-Overlander thinks about this.
I guarantee you, all these overland and off-road, manufacturers and people who build those, and parts for those, they're going to be all over this.
The great thing about electric vehicles in the term of off-roading is that like you're not taking your money and spending it on engine and snorkels and all this stuff. You can spend it on a lift kit. You can spend it on bigger tires. You can spend it on this, that, and the third because you're not wrapping it up and like trying to protect your engine from.
You're not
doing
buying
whatever.
an electric vehicle that's $150,000. You're buying it
Yeah.
to $60,000, which is the equivalent, which I think is fantastic because I didn't know the entry price. I think it's fantastic because that's a strip, that's like a base Tundra.
Yeah. Yeah.
Tundras are they're getting a little big for their britches. I'm coming for you. I said that's 2 minutes now. I'm coming for you. But
Those trucks work though.
Yeah.
They do.
Tundras work.
No, they do, and they're about indestructible. But I'm interested to see the one thing, and I like Rivian, as I said. The one thing I'm interested to see is the survivability. How they do with 50,000 miles.
Yeah.
How they do when those, how those motors do when, because, electric motors and petrol motors wear differently.
Yeah.
And electric motors corrode. They do all this stuff.
Yeah.
I'm interested to see how that goes.
Yeah.
Excuse me for a moment, gentlemen.
That's okay.
How's it
He's got
going? Good, how are you?
members and
Good.
people and stuff. How's it going, man?
Good.
Come on in, Pat.
Yeah, Tundra. How do you feel about the new Tundra?
I'm actually, this is really embarrassing, but I'm really glad it happened on Country. Because we're about authenticity. I'm stuck to this chair.
Your button stuck.
I don't know what's stuck. Something's stuck.
Button.
Yes, my button is stuck. Please hold. Okay. I had to adjust it. I'm like, I heard a rip, and I'm like, uh-oh, not again. Let me just bear with me. I have to tuck my buttons.
They said, tuck your buttons.
Yeah, tuck your buttons, huh? You're embarrassing yourself. It's got all over you. No, but my thing is like, if you think about it, they haven't updated the Tundra in what, 12, 15 years? Something like, it's been like since like 2006. It's been a long time.
Yeah.
2005,
Well,
2005, 2005.
Because
They've done minor cosmetics, but it hasn't been a full frame-off redo.
Right.
They've given it prettier lights, a nicer navigation system. That's it.
Right.
It's the same flipping truck.
Right.
So the thing about it is for them to completely redo Tundra, it's going to be a bestseller. It's going to be the truck of the year, all this stuff, because it always is. But it's good looking.
Yes.
I'll give it that. It's
Yes.
gorgeous.
Yeah, it's a good looking
Really
truck.
good looking truck. I would rather see a more. I would rather see. Okay, let me put it this way.
Go ahead.
I'm excited for some of the things they have. Okay, twin turbo V6.
Yes.
7 V8. They're starting to think about this.
Mhm.
I like that it's a touch smaller than the other one.
Yeah.
Not the mass is still the same, but it's not. That's a big truck.
Yes.
But what I don't understand is they're giving us this new Tundra with all this stuff that's flashy, and then they're going to do a new Tacoma, and hopefully it won't be 1 mile per gallon better than Tundra.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll learn from this.
Yeah.
But we can't get a GR Yaris.
Yeah. Yeah.
We can't get, some of these other cool, wicked cars that they do.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Supposedly, they are bringing. They're going to be doing a all-wheel turbo version of the Corolla. Dude, those things are cool. They are.
I don't know about all that. I don't like the new Corolla. There, I said it.
That's okay. You didn't have to.
I did when it first when they unveiled it.
Mhm.
Now that the production, I don't like.
For me, as a hatch guy, as a Toyota guy.
I know. You're both.
Yes.
And it's annoying.
Yeah, it's great. My problem is that they've just started doing it. They've just started making hatches.
So
Yeah.
if you could buy, this is culture restart
Okay.
right here.
Yes.
It's good.
Yes.
If you could buy a hatchback right now,
Yes.
any of them,
Any hatchback.
sold in the U.S., on sale in the U.S., what would you buy?
The
This is easy for me.
GR yours.
You can't buy one in the U.S.
Oh, in the U.S. Is that?
I said that's what I said.
Oh.
On sale in the U.S.
Man, I don't even know what's out there right now, if I'm honest. I do like their Corollas. I like their Corollas.
You buy Corolla hatch.
Yeah, I think I'd buy a Corolla hatch. First, it's Toyota. Second, it's 6-speed manual transmission.
Option.
Yeah, which is great. And they've been doing really good on the touring circuit.
They have. I will say they have.
Yes. It's becoming like a genuine tuner car. You know, it's actually having like good weight, and there's so many good aftermarket products from it now.
Really?
Yeah, it's a cultural thing. It's almost like a newer Subaru of sorts. Just you don't have to change head gaskets
Well, that's
every
nice.
50,000 miles.
That's
You know.
nice.
What about you?
Oh, hands down, Type N Veloster from Hyundai, hands down. I've talked about it on previous episodes. I've driven one, and I
So my
loved it.
my answer comes from WRC
That's true.
because Toyota is and has been dominating the WRC. Like,
Well, they have.
and Hyundai has not.
Have you ever driven one?
No.
It would put the biggest smile on
Oh,
your
sure.
face. It's the funnest little flipping car, man.
What we haven't talked about yet is the new Z.
Oh,
We haven't.
I thought
It's
we
out.
did last week.
Or
last time.
I think we barely touched on it, but now it's out and it's in production.
So, I have been working really hard to pay off debt,
Yes.
and I've told myself, 2022, I'm gonna buy a new car
Think so? Okay.
in the blue,
Mhm.
the manual,
Mhm.
in the blue with the blacks. I love that blue, that old school Datsun blue.
Yeah. I don't like the blue interior.
I don't like blue interior. I do black
Yeah.
interior. I also, if I'm gonna get nuts though,
Mhm.
and this is uncommon for me.
Mhm.
I like the yellow,
Yeah.
and I do the blue interior with the yellow.
Ew. Really?
Yes, I would.
I can't do the blue. No.
I think the 400Z. They're just calling it Z, but it's 400Z.
Yeah.
I think the 400Z is, for me, one of the greatest cars to come out in the last couple of years for me.
I would say so. Yeah. It's just a smart move. 'Cause-
Nissan listened.
Yeah,
a lot of
Nissan
car
listened.
the Supra, they didn't listen.
No, they didn't listen at all.
They didn't listen. What's another kind of remake that happened last couple of years? Well, and you can take the BRZ or the 86.
Yeah, VRZ is a great
Yeah,
example.
they didn't listen.
Yeah, and it's under the umbrella of Toyota.
Hmm. They didn't listen.
Huh.
The Z listened.
Mhm.
The new Bronco, they listened.
Mhm.
They made it retro
Mhm.
while making it modern. They listened. You're seeing a lot of these car manufacturers realize that there is a market in enthusiast-based
Yes.
cars.
Mhm.
Having said that, I think the Z, for me, is the pioneer.
Yeah,
Because Nissan, listen, the GTR is a brilliant car.
it really is.
I would never own one.
Yeah.
But for what I can admit, for what it is, it's a brilliant car. Having said that, I've driven an R33 GTR and I've driven an R35 GTR. I loved the R33 way more
Yeah.
than I did the R35.
Yeah.
Loved it.
I've driven an R33. I love that.
I think it's quite arguably one of the more fun cars I've ever
It's
driven.
so good.
Did you have Dexter's?
Mhm.
Same.
Yeah.
Same car.
Great drive.
Great car.
Mhm.
Just fun. It was like, it was responsive. It was just, you felt like you were in a legend.
You felt like you understood it too.
Yeah,
It's very
no,
understandable.
It is, and it wants to understand you.
Yeah.
It wants to drive like you want it
Right.
to drive, which is probably why I made Dexter kind of yelp. Dexter Jensen's a great friend of ours.
Yeah.
When I did a rolling down route through Third, up Shiloh. Anyway, in Billings, but I would prefer the R33. The R35 tells me that Nissan didn't listen. This is the first time, and not only styling, but the engine, like they modernized it, but it still has that, you can turn off all the driver's
Right.
assist. You can, and not only that, but I think another factor, it's like a three-legged thing for me, for an enthusiast car, is it's affordable.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say too.
It's affordable.
Mhm.
It's not $65,000,
Yeah.
Mr. Supra.
Yeah.
I'm coming for you. I told you. It's what's it start at, like 38?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, in a few years, like you and I can buy one. Like
Well,
it's more easily to buy one.
I really thought like that's going to be the next car I buy.
Yeah.
I really believe that. I've been working really hard to make that a reality. But I'm going to buy one.
Yeah.
And we're in 2021. I live in a snowy place 8 months out of the year.
Right.
But we have these amazing technological advances to where I think that they thought about that.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I mean the new Mustang, that Coyote 5-liter, which
Yeah.
is just, I think it's one of the better engines Ford's ever built. Great sounding motor. That car has a snow mode,
Oh, really?
and it's not all-wheel drive; it's rear-wheel drive. But
Yeah.
it puts the computer in a mode to understand that snow is there, and so it moves effectively for that. Now, I've never driven one in the snow. I can't tell you if it flipping works or not.
Sure.
But the fact of the matter is that they really have, you know, come into their own, I think. And I think it's going to start where I wouldn't be surprised, and maybe this is just a hope. I would hope that we see maybe another 22B or 22. What's that? The little Impreza.
Yeah, the two-door.
Yeah, is it 22B?
So Subaru will never listen to their fan base.
No, they won't.
You saw the new WRX?
Yes.
Yeah, it's awful.
It's terrible.
Awful.
It's terrible.
Yeah.
It looks like
they're committed
what they
to
tried to
not-
do with the Honda Type R.
Yeah. I don't mind the Type R.
I think it's.
So are we bashing Subaru, or are we appreciating Subaru?
We're appreciating
both.
the fact that car manufacturers can listen to car enthusiasts
Okay.
with the new 400Z. Have you
Okay.
seen it?
No.
So the Nissan's he had 240, 260. Yeah.
280.
280Z. He's got one that he's rebuilt. And it's a brilliant car. The 240 to 280 were a great driving car. And they were, I mean, a great enthusiast car that you could buy for the price. The new Nissan Z, they listened. They not only in performance, but price is such that they're in this day and age with inflation, it would be about what it was. And it's in production, and it's a gorgeous car. It's fuzzy, but it's a gorgeous car.
It's got the styling cues.
Styling cues, the old
cars.
ones.
Yeah.
Twin turbo, 400 horsepower V6, 6-speed manual, rear wheel drive. And I'm in love with it. I think I'm going to buy one next year, is what we were just talking about. I've kind of made that decision and that goal for myself to buy one next year.
Yeah, and the difference is that, like, all the Subaru enthusiasts were like, we want a BRZ that has a twin turbo, or that has at least a turbo.
And they didn't do it.
And
They added, what, 30, 40 more horsepower? That's
Yeah.
it?
And with
Because they put a cold air intake and some exhaust on it.
Yeah. And the new WRX has like 30 more horsepower with a different engine in it now, you know? And they just don't listen.
They don't listen. And I think the car manufacturers underestimate the size of the enthusiast market. I really do.
Yeah.
And
And it's you can look back to like actually the Subaru community for getting a lot of manufacturers to be more participant in enthusiast-based events because there's a big Subaru show that happens out in Washington, and they would invite Subaru of America to be part of it. And so Subaru would bring out rally cars, and the cars they released, you know, a taste of like what they were doing. You know, that's back when they cared. And so I think manufacturers kind of saw what they were doing and launched and latched onto that concept. You know, and so like at Z Days or whatever they had a couple weeks ago, Nissan was there, you know, with the new Z car.
So, and another company I want to bring up that I just pulled up the specs so I would talk out my ass. Porsche. They just released, because they have the 911, obviously the Carrera 4 Turbo, all the stuff, Carrera S. But they have, you know, they used to build driver enthusiast cars. The 911, the 964 SC sports car. And what they've done is they've actually done it again with the 911 GT with the touring package. And what they've done is the GTRS or GT or whatever, I can't remember the exact what they call it, but it's a wingless Porsche that has the power and the standards of a GT, the Porsche GT car, with a 6-speed manual and very dumbed down features. And Magnus, our one of our I see these certain, you know, it just, it blows my mind that car manufacturers haven't caught on to this works. You know, and there's a couple that have, but they haven't. A lot of them haven't, and it bothers me.
And I mean, I know they sell more sedans and SUVs and good compact SUVs or whatever, but there is that market for. I mean, even Tesla. You know, they're someday going to put out the Roadster, maybe. You know.
Well, I would rather a Plaid over the Roadster.
Yeah.
The Tesla Plaid. If you are at a stoplight and you put your foot down when it goes green, you will be at 60 miles an hour before you get through the stoplight. I love that.
Yeah.
1.9 seconds. I can't think that fast. I can't. I'm a moron. I can't think that fast. And the Tesla Plaid, I mean, it's gone up against so many cars, and it's just smoked the shit out of them.
Yeah, I mean, like I said on the last podcast, I watched it absolutely dominate a fully built dragster.
Yeah, fully built drag car.
Did you see the photo of the Tesla truck?
Yeah, the
Yeah,
Cybertruck.
yeah.
Yeah.
I have a
What
friend of mine who put a pre-order in.
Really?
It's never going to happen.
You don't think they're going to make
No,
it?
I think Elon Musk is I think, and I've said this on Culture Beast many times, I think Elon Musk is a certified real-life bond filler. That man put out a truck, built the whole thing, and said, for a couple $100 you can order one. And he made millions of dollars overnight. He doesn't have to make it.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't have to make it.
Yeah.
What I think the Tesla truck was one of the greatest publicity stunts of the 21st century, and it worked.
Mm-hmm.
I think that man was sitting on a panel with Neil deGrasse Tyson, the most revered astrophysicist we have. Astrophysics is still a developing science, and this man knows more about out there than most people. And he sat on with NASA people and Neil deGrasse Tyson, and he said, "I have a 30-year plan to colonize Mars." And the whole nobody clapped, nobody cheered, nothing. And he said, "Here's how I'm going to do it." He said, "I'm going to detonate a tactical nuclear warhead on the North Pole and the South Pole. And in 30 years, it's going to create an atmosphere and terraform itself." And everybody looked, and NASA, the greatest scientific minds of our globe, said, "Well, we don't condone how he's going to do it, but he's not wrong." It would work. That man is a Bond villain, and I love it.
Well, he was the one who stated, I think it was on Rogan, that he, I'm butchering the context here probably, but made the comment about not calling the government back.
Yeah, he didn't. He didn't.
He said they needed this and this and whatever it was from him. And
I think what
it
he
was
said
Rogan
is,
asked him, so how, yeah, go ahead.
I think what he said was, "I left them on red." This is what I think he said, because I heard that podcast.
That's wonderful.
And I think he said, "Yeah, I left them on red." And Joe Rogan was like, "What?" He's
Yeah.
like, "Yeah, I just didn't return their call. Like, I just didn't call them back."
That's how you know you've reached
Well, and
a benchmark where
exactly.
you can just not return the government's call, and
Well,
they never come looking for you.
And on that note, like he said it best like 3 sentences later. He said, "Well, I don't really need to.
Yeah.
I don't need their money. I don't need their infrastructure. I don't need their time. I don't need their permission."
No, he's
He's like, "I don't need them."
Yeah.
yeah.
Like, and you see these people like Jeff Bezos and Richard Branson going up to space, and they're like, "Yeah, you know, we went up and we're in the atmosphere and we came back down. It was great." And they're like, "Yeah, we're in the same thing, you know, same caliber as Elon Musk." And Elon Musk is like, "Dude, you know how many missions I've done to the U.S. space station?" He's like, my rocket's actually, and this is what I love, because somebody asked him in an interview, they said, "What do you think about Jeff Bezos' program and Richard Branson's program?" And he goes, "My rockets actually go to space." That's legitimately, and then he said, "Next question." That's all he said. And
So
and
good.
now, while the nonchalant attitude could be taken as arrogance, the man has cultivated, like NASA wasn't going to be able to get the things they needed to get to the space station until SpaceX came around. And he said, "Look," he goes, "I will work with you, but I control it. I control the R&D, I control the science, I control the launch, I control everything." And NASA went, "You mean we don't have to accept responsibility, we can have deniability, and we don't have overhead?" "Sure." Done. And Elon Musk could stop working tomorrow to tomorrow and still be one of the most influential people in the 21st century. That's called a legacy,
Absolutely. Yeah.
and that's dope.
I mean, he's on the level of Steve Jobs. You know, Steve Jobs literally changed how the world
works.
functions.
Yep.
Yes, with the iPhone and computers. You know.
The other thing that's crazy to me about Elon Musk, and I've said this multiple times, is that all of his patents for how his things work are online. He said, do it. And somebody asked him about that, and he said, if I'm on a ship and it's sinking and I have an idea for a lifeboat that's going to save everybody, he said, you think I'm going to keep it to myself?
Yeah, it's a whole lot different when the great mind offers that, right,
Mhm.
versus it's stripped from him.
Yeah.
And that's why, and
The
I think
difference
probably was also
between-
the reason he's like, I didn't go.
The difference between the looter and the great mind.
Yes,
Right?
yes.
Elon Musk is going to disappear one day.
Probably.
Probably. Yeah.
Yeah, he's going to go to Mars, is where he's going to go.
Right.
Go back to what alien species he came from.
Yeah, no, I have a friend of mine who's a very bright human being. So he's not really into conspiracy theories much, I didn't think. And he's really not. But he is convinced, 101% convinced that Elon Musk is a robot. The guy sleeps like 4 to 6 hours a day. The guy, literally, how he thinks is I've never seen anything like it.
Yeah.
I've never seen anything like it. But that's where we are as a society.
I'm telling you, I told you like what 4 episodes ago that he's gonna come out with a phone. He's gonna come out with his own cell phone.
He doesn't need to.
He's going to.
He's not going to.
He's going-
I disagree. I disagree
Guaranteed.
there. I disagree now. He's not going to. He doesn't need to.
He doesn't need to.
What he'll do is
He
come
might.
out with some sort of like not lifestyle, but like not social, but like some sort of app that we will use every day, all the time.
Sure.
He will come out with that. The thing about Elon Musk is, Elon Musk has proven that he does not want to reinvent the wheel.
Yeah.
He's going to show us a better way of getting around.
Right. Right.
It's not, so
But I think he's gonna come with something. He's gonna come with something that's.
maybe
I mean.
he could patent the first phone in our ears.
Yeah.
Or
Exactly.
something.
So he's gonna do something with
telecoms.
phones. Yeah.
He probably is. That's
'Cause, I mean-
a huge industry.
I mean, he's already doing the internet service, right? They're making tablets for their cars.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Oh yeah,
Like-
removable tablets.
Yeah.
You can take it from your car.
So I mean,
I will say-
it's a market that is really muddied, and it's like not very many people are really hooked on what they have right now. You know what I mean? So like,
And they're coming out with a new phone every 6 months.
right that are just
And
kind of
it's
like
just a
sim-
fancier version of what it was.
Yeah, or like bits and pieces from other companies.
Yeah,
No,
and
I am excited about the 13. I will buy a
So
iPhone 13.
let's segue into that.
Okay.
I don't know anything about it. I did not do research on the new 13 because I have a 12 Pro Max and it's actually been one of the worst phones I've had.
Oh.
It has not been a good phone.
Hmm.
If I'm honest.
Yeah.
I would 4 out of 10.
Yeah.
So tell me about the 13 and why I should be excited about it.
Well, it might not excite you, but it excites me as a content creator. Because essentially their marketing is for cinematography. Like it's
So upgraded cameras, upgraded software.
yeah, like
Okay.
their
I
teaser,
did see that. I did see that teaser video, that the movie that was shot, the short
Yeah.
film that was shot. I
Yeah.
did see that.
and that to me is just
That was impressive.
yeah. And I mean, we're recording this on my phone, my 8 Plus.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
In HD.
Yeah. And you imagine the quality of like cinematic mode that
You know what would be fun to do? Record an episode of Culture Beast on your phone, then record a next episode on my phone and see the difference.
Yeah, that would be.
That'd be interesting to me.
So I'm definitely getting a 13 based on that. But that's it. Other than like I don't care what else it does. I'm more excited about having it.
Well, and because that's what's important to you.
Right, exactly. But
What's
they're going
important to
after
me is
people-
usability.
I don't think they're changing much though. I don't know what they're doing as far as changing that because I'm camera.
And that's very true. I'm going to segue
Okay.
because I wanted to talk about this. I have this is going to be so fucking ass. I've So
You know what I
think
mean?
you think they're cooking something up?
I think they're cooking something up. I think they're trying to hit a new demographic.
Do you
which
think?
to me hypes me. Like,
Here's some culture piece. This is a culture piece conversation. Do you think that they are going to try to break into motorsport again?
absolutely. I mean, with Ken Block, what else are they gonna do?
Because they know he's a household name, and they're trying to reach a new demographic.
But what is he gonna drive? He's gonna have to drive something. You know?
They're probably just going to give him an RS4 with long
There's been
traveling
a lot of
suspension.
teaser photos of him with the old Group B car.
Well, they have to make a new Group B car before they get.
Sure, but it's exciting.
If they make a new Group B car and it actually works like the old Group B car, I will be surprised. Not that I have no faith in Audi, but I have no faith in Audi.
I'm excited for companies to be getting more excited about motorsport, and that's
Well,
the
I
that's
do
the
agree.
road, you
I
know?
do agree with that. I
Even
think the
when-
rest of what you said was garbage, but I do agree with that.
But it's gonna happen. It has to.
But here's
They
the
have
thing.
to develop something.
Audi, these companies like Audi and BMW, are like, yeah, they could go back to their, GT car days and their rallycross days, but they would lose their older demographic on principle,
Right.
because we still have those. I can't say that on Culture Piece. We still have those older people. I was going to say something else, but we haven't gone to that word yet, and I don't think if I want to bring it up. They would lose those people. But
They're
again,
going to lose
those people are going to die soon.
Yeah,
So,
and that's exactly it. Like, who are they gonna be selling cars to? You know what I mean?
so this is your first Culture Piece episode. He usually has the voice of like reason and logic and sound mindedness.
And he gets really mad. For
And I
like,
get really mad and
flash
yell a
the pan.
lot, and yeah. So that's how usually this goes.
So think about it this way. So Toyota gets back into WRC, right? Like 3 years ago, and now they've developed the GR Yaris.
Okay, I'm listening.
You know, and so that's going to lead into the Corolla, and then that's going to lead into whatever else.
Do you think they're
build.
gonna have a GRM like Mercedes has AMG? Do you think they're gonna have a division?
I think they're gonna have to. I mean,
Can you imagine if they did a GR Sienna?
that'd be amazing.
I would love that. Well, I think that would be minivan with 800 horsepower. Done.
Hey, minivans have some get up and go.
They do.
Yeah,
They
and,
do.
And they're the only company that makes an all-wheel drive van.
And it's actually really good.
And you can take all the seats and just make
I
it
don't.
like.
I feel like I should cover my mic. Where is it? Really good.
It's a
looking
really
car.
good looking.
It's a really good looking car. I hate to say that.
Toyota just does it, you know. And so like if you follow that logic, you know, like Audi has to do something.
Well, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but logic doesn't care whether you like it or not.
You know what?
My man.
Maybe you should start doing this show. I'm fed up with you people. I'm interested to see. You bring up an interesting point. I'm interested to see how that goes. If it goes. If it doesn't, I'll be right, and I'll not rub it in too much.
The only thing that's
my favorite.
like it is a weird conglomeration. But what's even more strange is that Ken Block is associated with Monster, which is the furthest company from Audi.
But we have to remember who owns Audi.
Volkswagen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You got to hand it to the Germans.
Do
They
you
make
think-
great cars.
Well, they did. Do you think we're going to see a return of such? Because this nostalgia thing is catching. It's caught on, and then it kind of died for a second. Now it's on again.
Yes.
The Bronco, the Z, all this stuff. Do you think that we're going to start seeing more enthusiast-based cars from luxury brands?
Yeah. I mean, Land Rover is a luxury brand,
Yeah,
and they came out with the new.
they brought the Defender
The
back to
Defender.
be relevant.
Right. But it's more of an enthusiast car than what they built.
I'm smoking you out. I'm
That's
sorry.
okay. You know, it's more geared to outdoor people than what it's ever has been. You know?
There's your Bond villain cars.
Yeah.
You know, one of my least favorite things on Culture Beast is when I don't have a rebuttal.
I'm just saying it's a. I mean, okay, in 20. When did we start this? 2019, early 20. Yeah, late 2019.
No.
No, it was 2020.
No.
It's like- It's
The
2020.
first episode was in 2018.
No, was it?
Yes, it was. And
Oh, it was in my driveway.
yeah, in your
Yeah.
driveway. This is the. I keep getting caught. My buttons keep getting caught. And it's just awkward. It's awkward for me because I have to like fix myself. Like cut that fucking button off.
The chair likes you.
The chair's like, don't go anywhere. You're warming me up. No, I think, yeah, because this is a terrible thing to say, but I do it by who I would date here. Yeah, and we both know who it was.
Which Jessica?
You know,
Yeah.
that's harder.
Sorry.
You know, I don't know. Keeping timelines based off that's harder on you than anybody.
Did you hear what he said? He said, which Jessica were you dating at that time?
Because there's no separation, bro.
Well, TJ, I'm gonna hand this to you. I gotta
Jessicas are
go. I gotta go on a
trouble, too.
walkabout and think about my life. Yeah, no, I've actually refused to date another one after this last couple of years.
Anyway.
Anywho, can we edit that out? No, we're not editing that. That was great. I mean, it wasn't, but it was great for you.
It was fun.
Yeah. Which Jessica we date? But no, but it's been.
A or B.
Is there more than a B?
Oh, that actually works. I didn't even mean for that. Can't even talk.
One's first name starts with an A.
Yeah, I didn't even mean
starts
for
with an
that.
A and the second one's last name starts with a B. So if a girl goes, my name's Jessica Cleveland, I'm like, you didn't get the hell out of here, man. I'm not the guy.
Jessica,
I'm
can't
not
be
the guy.
C.
I can't be C. You can't even be any of the other 23 alphabet letters.
Oh my goodness.
I hate you so much. I love how
It's all right.
you said it
okay.
because I thought you were being son of a bitch. I thought you were being smart.
I
and
saw your
saying that.
expression and then I realized.
Yeah,
like,
I thought you knew, and that's why I was like, that was one of the most intelligent jokes you've ever used on Culture Beats, and you didn't even
just
know.
subconsciously intelligent.
Holy smokes!
There you go.
I'm moderately mortified at the moment.
So,
Yeah, so it was during the A dynasty, short-lived as it was. God, that was a rocky time for our civilization, wasn't it?
holy hell.
That's too good. You know what? I can't remember what I was going to talk about next. There it was. Man, that was the most. We've done this is episode 22, 23?
3.
Yeah, this is the most embarrassed I've ever been on an episode, and that's saying something. One time, there was like episode 5, we were talking about a latte art pouring competition, and the things they make, the latte art's called rosettas, and I said they were pouring risottos, and I don't know why that was so funny at the time, but it really was. That was about the most embarrassed I've been until this moment.
Anyways.
Can we talk about something else now?
So,
How many other girls have you dated?
so anyway.
I'm cutting it off.
I'm just kidding, man.
So anyways, early
I don't know whether to
episode-
laugh or cry at this point.
Early episode, we talked like we think there's going to be a renaissance in motorsports.
We did. We did.
We were gonna say
That
we
was
said
during the A dynasty.
Yeah, we were going to see companies looking at
gonna be a hashtag
Toyota,
now.
looking at
No, not Subaru. They don't give a shit.
right.
Honda.
Yeah, looking at these companies.
And if you think about it, we were right.
Yeah, example A, Ken Block.
I think that's the first time in 23 episodes that's happened.
That
We
you
were right. A prediction we made was right.
Yes.
High five us.
High five.
Whoa.
Us.
Okay, let's try that again. That was terrible. Try it again.
There we go.
There we go. His high fives are perfect every time. I don't know how he does it. I think he
Just
like
'cause I do it a lot.
That's true. He does high five a lot. It's almost too much, Scale back.
Anyways.
Take about 25% off there.
Yeah, we called it.
We
And-
did.
And so Ken Block is a perfect example of Audi pulling in a major motorsports influence. to
My
try and
cheeks
go-
hurt from being there. So and this would be a good.
little red too.
Oh, I'm so embarrassed right now. But it's also like I have this rule: if it's funny, I can't be mad, and that was funny. So now I'm just embarrassed, and I'm gonna take a mild sedative when I get home. So here's a good note I think to end on. What's our next Culture Beast prediction? Yeah, light that. Yeah, puff it when you light
I
it.
don't know, but it's hot and wind's blowing towards me.
It's hot.
Well, the flame is hot.
Oh, I was
The
like,
wind's-
I'm cutting glass at the moment. I'm wearing a sweater.
the flame pushes. Anyway, you go ahead.
What is our new? I think, based on the knowledge that we have, the next Culture Beast prediction. We should do one each. See what happens. I think Junko jeans are gonna come back. No, I'm just kidding.
You're out of here.
Yes. Go away.
But you're probably right.
Yeah, I mean, I gotta hope not. I think we're going to see. I think we're going to see electric vehicles start playing a role in everyday car life. And I know that's kind of an easy one, but I'm going to preface it to where it's not as easy. I think we're going to see. I think we're going to see the remake of the really cheap commuter car as electric.
Okay.
And I think we're going to see it as a. I think we're going to see, like they have carpool lane. I think we're going to have. They're going to start catering to that. That's my prediction.
I'm gonna say bold prediction here. You ready?
I'm not dating a Jessica C next
Nope.
year.
No C's.
No C's. No C's. No C's.
I think we're going too quick into electric vehicles.
Ooh.
I think we're going to see a very big void in supply, and I think the governments are going to be looking at it and saying like,
They're going to push it.
yeah, but we can't, like the car manufacturers just cannot make them.
Well, and not only that, but if you think about like these things, these smartphones we have so many rare earth elements in them. To make the chips and to make the interfaces and stuff.
Even
I think we're gonna see a shortage of materials as well.
I mean, even I can't remember which new model. I think it's the one the driving Lieberman did, but it has oil cooled battery packs,
I saw that.
which it's
What?
oil cooled. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
It still has a fossil.
It's using
fuel
a
in it.
fossil fuel.
Yeah. So it has to be dependent on it anyways. You know what I mean? So we can't just stop making fossil fuels. It has to be made. In order for that car to keep working in the next 15, 20 years,
Has to have
it
fossil
has to have
fuel.
a fossil fuel.
Oil can't go away.
No.
That's the thing. Is they want to say we have to get away from oil. We have to get away from big oil. In the grand scheme of things, in our daily society, the infrastructures that we have, we can't.
Yeah.
You give us the electric bullet trains, great. I think that needs to be in this country. The efficiency of those bullet trains versus our Amtrak and our diesel powered. But you look at any infrastructure, there's no way we can just cut ourselves off. And what is that? 2025? What's that? Or 35? That's 15 years. There's no way we can do it cold turkey, and that's what they want. They want to just be done with it, and we can't. But here's the thing, Audi. There was an article a couple years ago, and that's the last I've seen of it. Audi developed synthetic gasoline.
Porsche developed one too.
Well, same company.
Right.
They developed a synthetic gasoline. I saw 2 articles on it. I've never seen them again. Why? Because it's not profitable to the big people who are. So here's another crazy Culture Beast prediction. And 2025, Little Coyote, if the government wants to come. I'm not gonna live there for very much longer. But I honestly think that was. We haven't heard anything more about it for a reason. I think that it wasn't profitable at the time.
Yeah.
But I think if somebody could build a synthetic gasoline.
Yeah, and that's what we were talking about in the last one.
Yep.
Because I mean, third world countries, like we brought up on last month's episode,
Mm-hmm.
like they cannot tap into electric vehicles.
No, they
in the
couldn't.
near future.
They couldn't.
Like India is not going to be running on electric vehicles.
Probably not. I mean,
So-
and I mean, what are we gonna do? Ship all our Land Cruisers to Africa?
Right.
I mean, they have most of them anyway. But
I wouldn't mind if
he's
they
like, yo, tell me.
if they can ship them here, that'd be great.
Yeah, that'd be great. But I could get some of those. That'd be great.
The Middle East has all the little Toyota pickups.
Yeah,
That's true.
I don't know
That's
what
true. Dude,
Yeah, that's my prediction.
okay. What's your prediction for the future?
Oh no! You're gonna start roping me into that.
Well, this has been fun.
You're the experts.
This is no, we're actually not. That's the
We just
joke.
happen to get it right every once in a while.
We have to be right 20% of the time. People are like, well, Culture Beast said. Yes, we did. I don't think anybody's ever said that in their life, actually.
Well, not yet.
It's coming. That's positivity. We should have this guy on every
We
episode.
really should.
This has been fun. Timberline Lounge.
Yeah, thanks TJ for having
Yeah,
us.
and thanks for being a part of it. I kind of like this.
Absolutely.
I feel like
appreciate
maybe
it, guys.
more panel people should be maybe like
guests.
more. Yeah, like panel styles. What I meant. Like I think that'd be.
Doing like,
Yeah, we should probably. That'd be nice.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, people say I talk too loud anyway, so
Well, it
Maybe
picks
they
you
can
up.
Yeah, that's good.
And when you do talk, I tried to like turn a little bit to give you more mic.
I appreciate
It
that.
looks like it's picking them up. So,
Yeah. Yeah. Well, this has been fun.
We'll be able to make it happen.
Heck yeah.
So
and,
we're doing every other month. Or
we're doing
week.
every month.
Yeah, well, we're alternating. So first of the
Oh.
month we're
Yeah.
So we'll be back in Megarage,
November.
aka the second living
Studio.
room,
Yeah, the second, aka the
creative
studio.
space. And I have a pellet stove installed now.
I know, which is great because it's going to be cold in November.
It's gonna be nice and
So
toasty
November
with
we're going to be
pellet
bringing some more stuff, some fun stuff, and we might have another guest. Who knows? I kind of dig this actually.
Can you smoke cigars in there?
stove.
Oh,
Absolutely.
absolutely.
It's-
Oh man, and
it's
right
a-
at the end, the star of the show comes, Miss
Some
Kristen.
very gifts.
Kristen
Oh.
I told you
showed
they'd
up.
get
They
here.
showed
Are those
up.
cigars? This is a great.
Hey.
Yeah,
So
I
we're,
just
now
got
just take
ID'd
it
for
easy.
those. Yeah.
we're recording a podcast right now, and you're now in it.
Oh,
You're now in.
cool.
Yeah, this is Kristen.
Say hi.
Say hi to everybody.
My girlfriend.
Yeah.
Do you care to unbox those?
Yeah, can we
and
film
give them
it?
a little tease of
I
what
mean,
you
because
got?
people are gonna come from this, like three people.
You don't have to.
You
I
guys
absolutely
enjoy
will.
that.
Okay.
I got
like,
I got
believe
things
it.
I'm
to
gonna-
get,
I'm gonna
dude.
get- I'm gonna give you this.
By the
seat.
way, awkwardly,
You
in
can
the
awkwardly
middle of
stand.
this,
No,
this
because
is
your
our
back's gonna
Paul.
be to the camera.
Paul,
Oh.
this is Kristen.
Hi, Kristen. Nice to meet
Nice
you.
to meet you. Well, you guys enjoy. Have a good one.
Yes, ma'am. It's good to see you.
Good to see you too.
I've given you my spot.
Oh.
You need that?
You might not.
Yeah, if it's here, you'll probably pick you up. So we just got.
I'll
They
put
just
it on.
got.
Why not?
They just. Yeah, you got to be official. This is their new cigars for October coming in. You know, this is a fun thing, and I don't.
I
know.
hate these.
No, you know what? You know what our chef did today? He put them in the sink with the disposal and wet them, and they dissolved. And he ran the disposal, and they were gone.
I'm gonna hand these boxes to you.
So we have a Romeo y Julieta Robusto, which is the Reserva Real, which is a great cigar. Great, good starting stick, honestly.
It is.
The price is good. The blend is really good, and Romeo's been doing it for generations. What is that? Are you excited for it? What is it? What is it? Oh yes, the Tabernacle Bow Foundation. Double Corona. If you've never had a Tabernacle, please do it. Foundation's been coming out with
We've
some
had
really.
a tabernacle.
We have.
Yeah.
Ooh. God bless Alec Bradley. We've had a lot of Alec Bradley on. This is their Churchill of Black Market Esteli, which is a Nicaraguan blend. Yeah. Now you tell about these. I don't know about those.
These are a new one that we're getting in.
What is it?
Um,
I don't know anything about cigars, so if you explain it to me, like
I'm not. I don't know if I'm. Posada. I'm
Are you
not.
familiar with these or no?
those ones I have not smoked yet.
Oh,
I'm waiting to smoke. So
this is what I'm smoking at the current.
Yep.
Current time. The Monte
those
Cristo
only come in
Espada.
boxes of 10.
Yeah, the Quillians are the way to go, though. They really are.
And then another box of these.
Ah,
I do love
EP
those.
Carrillo's The Dusk. He's obsessed, and I
am
EP
obsessed.
Carrillo is,
I don't think I've had one.
EP Carrillo is unreal.
And that's it.
That's not a bad haul.
So these are coming in for the Bunker Labs event
Oh,
tomorrow.
that's right. Yeah, it's tomorrow. Bunker Labs. Would you mind just telling us a touch about that? Because I think it's fun.
If people want to be a member, of course.
Yeah, well, but no,
So
listen,
this
you're
is-
gonna love this.
So Bunker Labs is a nonprofit that provides resources to veteran-owned small businesses. and they're doing a talk here tomorrow, a little exposure for the lounge, as well as putting out some information, having a speaker talk about cryptocurrency.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so
Cool.
looking forward to that. We got
Yeah.
about 40 signups so far, looking probably about 50 people or so.
Yeah, it'll be great.
Yeah.
We love our veterans, and we love
Yeah.
supporting them. Yeah, that's true. He does. I couldn't tell you what the hell any of that means, but well,
Yeah, it's been fun.
it's been fun. This is Culture Beast.
Thanks for watching, everybody. We're out. Woo!
So I'll be honest, I don't know much about these.
I don't either.